Hi, I'm Roger. I have ATTR-CM. It is wild type. It was diagnosed 2 years ago. It was put on Attruby with my cardiologist.
My name is Scott. I was first diagnosed with ATTR-CM a couple of years ago. The treatment I'm receiving now for ATTR-CM is Attruby. I've been taking this for about 7 or 8 months now.
I was a peace officer for 30 years for the state of Nevada. I have one adult daughter that lives in the South and one wife that lives with me in Reno.
I was a financial trader for a long number of years and then decided at 55 to pursue my other full-time passion, that is of doing magic and being a magician. I have a podcast that I've been doing for the last 14 years, and I've just got about 1,000 episodes that are out there.
I enjoy the outdoors. I enjoy stargazing. We had an alignment of the planets a little while ago, and that was just fantastic.
I enjoy doing and sharing time with other friends and talking with other magicians and getting to travel really around the world and enjoying my passion, my hobby, and my friends and my family, my grandkids as often as I can.
The first symptoms I really noticed looking back were my multiple problems with my hands. I noticed my hands tingled horribly bad. I noticed that driving became difficult. It was 2023, and I just gotten back from a big game hunt, and I was carving up some meat, and I felt really, really sick that day. And my wife made me go to the hospital.
I had AFib, congestive heart failure. My heart had been racing. I had a cardioversion in order to slow down my heart, and then later had an ablation, and then had a second ablation. But during that time, the doctor had said that this is something that I have that needs to be addressed.
My cardiologist had a hunch and sent me in for a PYP test, and it came back positive. They said, well, Roger, you got a heart problem. I discovered I had wild type, and it started my journey of learning about my disease and what I can do about it and how I can live with it.
I was diagnosed with that, knowing full well that it was something that was hereditary. My father had passed at 84, my brother at 79, both with the same thing, but medicine had not advanced to where it is today. I have 2 sons, had them tested then to see if they have that. Sounds like that's something that is in our genes, and I'm just glad we're in that kind of an age where we can take advantage of these kinds of things, and people are constantly learning and improving.
I had never heard of ATTR-CM. I didn't even know how to pronounce it correctly. So I start a research on every website I can imagine. The nurse practitioner gave me the sit-down speech, and she goes, Roger, for what it's worth, if you lived 20 years ago, there was nothing we could have done for you. But you live in a time and a place now where there are drugs and there are therapies that can help you out. We discussed the possibility of me going to Attruby, and I agreed. And in a matter of days, the prescription went through, and Attruby was delivered to me.
I didn't know really anything too much at all about ATTR-CM because at the time when my brother had passed, it was still, I think, in its infancy as far as finding exactly what it is and how to treat it properly. I started down this line of treatment as a result of the recommendation of my cardiologist, and he had told me about Attruby. I'm very satisfied with the treatment that he had recommended.
What is Attruby? Attruby is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with a disease that affects the heart muscle called cardiomyopathy of wild type, or variant transthyretin-mediated amyloidosis, ATTR-CM, to reduce death and hospitalization related to heart problems. It is not known if Attruby is safe and effective in children. Possible side effects may include diarrhea and abdominal pain. For most people, these side effects were mild and went away, so they could continue taking Attruby.
With Attruby. I read quite a bit online. It was all useful information. In my very first shipment, there was a log journal to jot down notes about how I was feeling. I shared that with my healthcare team. I was able to refer back to the good days and the bad days that I was having, and the good days outnumbered the bad days.
When I first started on Attruby, I received a welcome packet. I read through absolutely everything that was in there. If I wanted to have any other questions, I was given a patient advocate who I spoke to and still speak to on a regular basis every month or so.
Oh, MediSafe. I just downloaded the app, and what I really like about it is it reminds me that I need to take my medicine, and it's become a habit, and I think it helps in my fighting this disease that I don't miss a dose.
I have been part of the patient support program, and I've had a good relationship with them. My pal has been a very important key in getting Attruby to me, specifically in navigating the waters through insurance. I felt like that we had fantastic communication, and he was my true advocate working on my behalf. There was nothing better I could ask for.
Greatest excitement is I can walk upstairs. I can walk most of the time through my house without losing my breath. So it allows me to live just a little bit better than I was at several months ago. I like the outdoors. I like to go poking around. I feel comfortable doing that again. I just feel better.
There are things that I can do that beforehand I was having some issues with breathing and with walking around or getting tired. I'm starting to feel better. So it has given me that ability to do what I want more frequently.
I've decided if I'm going to live with this disease, we might as well be at least on a friendly basis with each other. We do have fights, but my disease and I, we've decided that we're just going to call things as they are. That's the journey that I've started, is trying to live the best life I can with what I got. Attruby has given me hope. It's given me a shot at living longer.
Life is too short. I think people who are in my position should seriously consider following this route, because no one wants you to be sedentary and stay at home or stay in a hospital bed or do nothing. I always say to control the things you can and to let go of those you can't. Otherwise, you're going to lead a stressful life, and that can't be good for your heart either.
I'm just thankful that I live in a time that science and this drug therapy is available to me. Imagine if I was 20 years ago seeking this therapy. So I'm thankful.
What is Attruby? Attruby is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with a disease that affects the heart muscle called cardiomyopathy of wild type, or variant transthyretin-mediated amyloidosis, ATTR-CM, to reduce death and hospitalization related to heart problems. It is not known if Attruby is safe and effective in children. Important safety information. Before taking Attruby, tell your healthcare provider about all your medical conditions, including if you are pregnant or plan to become pregnant, are breastfeeding or plan to breastfeed. Tell your healthcare provider about all the medicines you take, including prescription and over-the-counter medicines, vitamins, and herbal supplements. What are the possible side effects of Attruby? The most common side effects of Attruby were mild and include diarrhea, stomach area, abdominal pain. These are not all of the possible side effects of Attruby. Call your doctor for medical advice about side effects. You may report side effects to FDA at 1-800-FDA-1088 or www.fda.gov/medwatch.